Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, please hit that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when we make other good content. So today we're going to be diving into fixing this Pioneer SX838. And so this receiver's come to me and it's broken and it's got a lot of things wrong with it. The case is busted up, the glass is busted out, the tuning knob is bent, the indicator for the FM and AM stereo is broken off. Hopefully it's somewhere in the receiver. And I don't know if it's going to be if it's going to have a relay click, if it's going to power up or anything. So why don't you guys come in closer and we'll go ahead and take a look at this and see if we can get it to power up. All right, guys, so I've got this plugged into my DIN bulb tester. So I'm going to go ahead and flip that switch on, and I'm going to go ahead and flip the receiver on. And so it does power up, but I don't hear a relay click. And so that relay click is significant because if we don't get a relay click, this thing is going to not put out music. That relay basically protects the speakers. So if we're not getting a relay click, guys, it's not going to play music. So let's go ahead and power this down. Now, I didn't see a bright light on my bulb, so that means we don't have a bad short in here somewhere. So with these particular units in the past, what I see fail a lot is the power supply section. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that at first. Obviously, we have a lot of cosmetic issues we're going to deal with in this video, but just to run down what we're going to do, we're going to try to make this thing look good. We're going to, regardless of what we find as far as the reason for this failure, we're going to replace all the electrolytic capacitors and transistors in the power supply section. We'll probably go ahead and do the protection circuit while we're at it as well. And then we'll probably replace the electrolytic capacitors and transistors on the amp board as well. So regardless of what we find, I'm going to do those things. Probably once I've done those things, this receiver will probably be working and sound good. Obviously, we're going to clean the controls and do the regular maintenance to it as well. So if that interests you guys, let's get started. All right, guys, so I just got done opening up the Pioneer SX838. And so I'm going to throw some pictures up on the screen here so you guys can take a look at what it looks like inside. And so just as I suspected, when we take a deeper dive into the power supply section, I think we found some of the problems or issues. Now, I don't know if this is all that's wrong with this unit, but this is a pretty good indicator. So this is the resistor that I was telling you guys about that gets super hot and cooks the circuit board. And this particular one is the worst I've ever seen. This circuit board is actually cracked in 2 or 3 pieces right here. So we got a crack here where resistor is almost coming completely out. We've got a crack along here. And so this whole section here has just been completely cooked by this resistor. Part of this is this resistor is mounted so low to the circuit board when it could have been mounted a little bit higher, and that would have saved some of this damage to the circuit board. But when they manufactured it, that's how they did it, and the circuit board paid the price. You can also see signs of heat damage like on the capacitor as well. So look at this capacitor and see how much the shrink wrap around it has shrunk due to the heat. And so this at one point was covered with plastic, and now it's shrunk down and it's not covered. And so there's been a lot of heat generation here. So I'm going to go ahead and start diagnosing this, guys. I don't know if we're going to be able to save this circuit board. Luckily, there's a gentleman online that does sell exact replacements, replicas of these circuit boards. So I've gone ahead and ordered this circuit board. But just for fun, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can't get this to work to see if this is what is wrong and get a relay click. So I'll go ahead and I'll test all these components and see what I can do. Take this circuit board out and flip it over so you guys can take a look at the back side, and then we'll come back in just a few moments. So let me go ahead and do that, guys, and we'll see you back here in just a second. So to take this circuit board out, there's a couple grommets we have to depress to get out. So we've got one here, 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 and here. And so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'll just take a needle nose plier and I'll compress the grommet and I'll pull up. And see, as I'm doing that, guys, you guys can see that that circuit board is cracked right in half. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to save this. So I'm going to go ahead and get this circuit board out, guys, and we'll take a look at it. So as you guys can see, this circuit board is cracked right in half through here and here. So I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be salvageable. So we're going to probably have to wait for the replacement. Just for fun though, I'm going to try to see if I can't complete the circuits uh, just to see what happens. And so this thing has just been completely cooked and it's cracked. I've never seen one this bad actually. So this is just a known weakness with the SX838s, that this resistor just gets so hot. And so in this build, what I'm going to do is relocate this resistor and I'm going to mount it to the chassis on the other side. So then that way this receiver doesn't suffer this type of damage again. So I'll be doing that and I'll show you guys when I do that. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and test some of the components on the board itself to make sure we don't have any other issues, and then we'll go from there. So guys, I got it pinned back so it's easier to see, but as we can see, this is where the resistor is, and that's where this crack starts, and it splinters out and goes this way and this way. So this board is cracked completely in half. So when we take a look at the circuit, we've got this trace that's completely split, this trace, a trace here, 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 and then also here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 traces that are damaged on this circuit board. So obviously this circuit board is toast. We can actually repair this, and I think it would work pretty fine. However, like I said, I've already got the new circuit board on order, so we'll have to wait for that. But in the meantime, just to give us something to do, I'm going to go ahead and repair these traces, temporary patches, with some wires, just to see if we get the relay to click on. I'm just curious, and I think it'll be just a fun exercise to see how much we can actually repair and see if we can get this to work. So you guys stay tuned. I'm going to go ahead and start working on that, and so you guys can just stick along for the ride. Okay guys, so after going ahead and making our makeshift repair to the circuit board, you can see that we've got the resistor back in, and we just soldered some wires to it and put it back to its connections. We've repaired the traces, and so I've put them in different colors, so the blue and the red, the green, the black and the yellow. So that's all the traces. So theoretically, this power supply section, if there's, as long as none of the components are cooked, should be fine. So I'm going to put it on the dim bulb tester, and I'm going to turn it on and see if we get the relay click. So just FYI guys, I would not recommend doing this unless you absolutely had to. This is, like I said before, the most damage I've ever seen on one of these circuit boards from that resistor overheating and cracking. So this unit was used, and then it had an overheating problem. Part of that problem was, like we said, they put that resistor way too close to this board than they had to, and it just, over time, you know, this thing's 40 years old, with the heat, it just couldn't take it anymore. So we've got a new circuit board on order, but in the meantime, just for troubleshooting's sake and just for fun, let's see if we can get this thing to come out of protection now. So hopefully, if this is the only problem, it should come out of protection. If not, we'll just keep troubleshooting and continue with the restore. But let's give it a shot. So I'm going to go ahead and disconnect these alligator clips. I'm just going to gently fold it over to where it's not touching anything. I'll plug it into my dim bulb tester, and then I'll click it on. So just give me a second to do that, guys, and then we'll be right back. All right, guys. So I've gone ahead and hooked it up to my dim bulb tester. As you guys can see here, this was quite the extensive repair. And so electrically, this is exactly the same as if the circuit board was not broken, didn't have any problems at all. And so while I don't recommend this, this could be a fix. If your Pioneer SX838 broke and you had this much damage to the circuit board, you could do this. And what you could do is then cover this with a UV glue or an epoxy to give that board some stability, and just put it back in, and it'll work. I would move this resistor still to the chassis to prevent further heat damage, but it could work just like this. So we did this just for fun, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and release these integrated clips, kind of lay this circuit board back down, and then we'll power it up together and see if we get the relay click. I went ahead and hooked up some speakers to it, so we'll see if we even get music out of it after that. So let's cross our fingers. So let me go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to lay the circuit board there. Just I'm making sure that it doesn't touch anything, and so it looks good to me. And so what we'll go ahead and do now is flip our switch to the dim bulb tester, and then we'll go ahead and turn this on and see if we get a relay click. And would you look at that? We got a relay click. I can't believe it. So chances are this power section was the only thing wrong with this receiver. And since we've repaired it electronically, we got the relay click. But let's take it one step further and let's see if we get music out of this thing now. So I hooked it up to the aux port. So let's see if we're going to get anything. Oh, we're getting music. It's unbelievable. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. We got off super lucky. So guys, we've already identified what was wrong with this receiver. And so just like I thought, it was this power supply section. So for fun, we went ahead and did a temporary fix on there to see if that's what it was, to test our theory. And so it is. So right now, I can't do anything else with this circuit board. So I'm going to leave it alone, and then I'm going to go ahead and continue with the other parts of my restore. So that's all for today's video, guys. I hope you really enjoyed this. I hope you learned something out of it. I hope you learned that you can repair a very damaged circuit board as long as you're careful. And so if you guys have questions about what we did today, please leave them down in the comments section below. If you guys found value in this, make sure you hit that thumbs up, like and subscribe to the channel. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.